Is it sustainable to think in the way of having to convert and bring back? And if you look at the Lemba, they don't even want to convert. They said, why are we converting to something we're already part of? So it's really important now to bring in the writings of our sages, because we have a consensus for about 3,000 years passed on that everyone agrees on what will happen in the future times when this great awakening happens. What will happen in the future times when this great awakening happens? What will happen in the future times when this great awakening happens?
The point being, around the world, this prophecy started unfolding before our eyes. The awakening and the return of Israel. The awakening and the return of Israel. The awakening and the return of Israel. Because it says in the days of Messiah. So now we go through the prophets here and we get to the book of Ezekiel in 36 and 37. The dead bones of Israel come back to life. And in 36 and 37 it says, in the days of the Messiah returns, both sticks, Judah and Ephraim, are joined in his hand. So then we get to the New Testament. And it talks about the Jews and the Gentiles, but those Gentiles were returning Israel. Read Peter's address, he says, to the dispersed of Israel, or to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and James says the same. So this story of the Bible, guys, there was no change of the law at the middle day. It was a continuation of the story of restoration.
On right now is what I call the Great Awakening. And what is a Great Awakening? It's realizing that we've been lied to quite a bit when it comes to a certain state and a certain group of people from the Middle East, even though they're not really from the Middle East, if you know what I'm saying. This situation is getting mainstream attention. A topic that typically would get you banned everywhere is now exploding, absolutely exploding in awareness.
Absolutely. It's time for us to let go of all these things of this world, the things that we have been indoctrinated to believe is the right way, right?
Yeah.
We got to let that stuff go. You
Yes.
genuinely have to let that stuff go.
Hallelujah.
And trust the process of him, not your own process, but his process.
And read the whole word.
The whole word. You can't just read half of it. You got to read the whole word so you can get clarity and understanding from him, not from the world, not from anything else. We got the Ruach HaKodesh, you got wisdom, you got understanding, and you got him. With those four, you can't
go wrong.
You can't go wrong. You just can't
go wrong.
Yes.
Wake up!
Berean Scholar. Berean Scholar. Waking up the people of the Most High. Got the knowledge to destroy the lies. DNA, history, open eyes. Walk into the darkness and turn on the lights. Wake up, 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 wake up.
Man, hello everybody. I want to welcome you back to the Great Awakening here with Berean Scholar. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for sharing this. I am glad that this is touching a lot of people. Today I have a special person. We're going to the Midwest.
Yes.
We're going to the Midwest, and we got Zariah. And Zariah is going to come and share with us and tell us about her journey. Zariah, how you doing?
I am Baruch.
All right. Now, Zariah, I just thank you that today we're going to talk to the people who are listening, and we're going to make sure we let them know who we are and what we are. Tell them a little about yourself.
Okay. My name is Zariah, and I am 34 years old. I live in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska?
Yes. And I am a daughter of the Most High Yahuwah.
Yes. Now, Zariah, who you were before the awakening? I wanted to know who were you and how did you grow up?
My name, I was originally born Alexis. That was my surname. And I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, raised as well. I was in foster care majority of my life. We were taken from my mother at 4.
She was raised in foster care?
Yes.
At 4 years old? Since 4 years old?
Yes. I was 4 years old when we were taken.
Wow. So did you have any siblings?
I did.
They kept y'all together, or they separated you?
So at the time it was only 3 of us. And my older sister got to move with her godmom at the time, and me and my baby sister, we stayed together. They kept us together.
Wow. So you growing up, not so all you know since 4-year-old is foster care, going from place to place, right?
Yes, we did get to go back with my mother for a small season, and when we did go back with my mother, she had 2 more children.
Okay.
And then while we were with her, so we were back with her for like a good year, or a year and a half, and then she had another child. So altogether, it was 6 of us.
Okay. What were some of your memories during that time?
They were not good.
Wow.
They weren't good. We suffered a lot of mental, emotional, and physical abuse.
So and did you and your siblings talk to one another, or just all y'all just like most of us do in our families in our community? We all suffer abuse, but sometimes we suffer alone. We don't even share them with the other people who abuse, suffer too. We don't share our feeling with anybody. We just keep it inside.
So, my sexual abuse, I did not share with anybody. I did not share with anybody. It was just my physical abuse that I had to share because that was something me and my sibling had in common. And so, that was the only thing that we shared, honestly.
So coming through all that, and were you in a? You said you would stay with foster care. You didn't get a chance to see your mom in. What kind of upbringing was you? Just went to school, or was it a church, a house that made you go to church, or what was it?
So basically, the homes that we were into, it was many different homes until about 9 years old, or 8. I was 8 because I was in the 3rd grade. We went with this couple, and they were seeking to adopt us. Unfortunately, my sister, they were still letting us go see my mother. So we still got the chance to go see my mom, and it was not a good idea. We were in therapy. They were trying to help us through some things. So at 8 years old, we ended up going to a couple, actually. It wasn't any better, but it was better than being in the situation that we were in. We still suffered physical abuse
with the couple.
Yes, but not with the man. It wasn't as bad as my mom though. So I honestly, it was a relief, because I'm like, maybe it's normal for us to get disciplined in the way that they disciplined. It wasn't consistent, so I can't say that they were just horrible to us. They were not. But we still suffered on some level. Right. But it wasn't as bad as we did before.
For help that never came. Tonight, the gripping stories of children who fought to survive inside DCFS, the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services.
In this 3-year-long investigation, Dave Savini and the CBS 2 investigators uncovered stunning data exposing how the agency's own investigators cleared alleged child abusers nearly all of the time.
First thing, I noticed you've had a lot of hairdos over the years.
Yeah, I know.
On the surface, Kaylin Brown seems happy.
I cut my hair, grew it back, cut it again.
I think the last time I saw you, it was purple.
Yeah. Yeah.
A loving mother of 2 kids.
Count and breathe.
1, 2, 3.
Now hopes her darkest days are behind her.
No child should go through that. That's why I keep my kids close to me.
And you were 5?
Yeah.
Sexually assaulted when she was just 5, the same age as Kayla Rose, her oldest daughter.
It's not common for kids to catch an STD as young as I did, but that's the first time I caught my STD when I was 5.
Kaylin remembers at least 17 different foster homes and facilities and years of physical, mental, and sexual abuse in a child welfare system that was supposed to protect her.
All my life, nobody really wanted me.
She was still in the system when we first met her 3 years ago.
I was abused my whole entire life.
This is a gathering of 14 now adults.
I was in 30 within a year.
30 different homes.
Yes.
Sharing stories of horror as children.
And how old were you when you went into the system?
3.
14 survivors no longer silenced by the fear of retribution and abuse.
How young were you when you were first abused?
Probably 12.
I've been neglected.
All of them placed in foster care in the custody of DCFS, the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services.
I've been physically, sexually, mentally abused.
The agency's failure leaving each their own painful path of recovery.
I was physically and mostly abused. I was like beaten.
And when it comes to Kaylin, she's still trying to pull through the wreckage.
And you're homeless now, living in a shelter. And how old again are you?
I'm 19.
Another time that haunts her as a child is when 2 adult males from one of her foster families stole the Girl Scout cookie money she raised.
All of it. I had like over $600 that I sold for cookies.
And you were hoping to get a prize?
Yes.
Like what could you have won?
It was basically like this big bicycle at the time.
After accusing the men, she says, to teach her a lesson, she was beaten and assaulted again.
I would say I was raped at least 3 to 4 times.
She says there were trips to the hospital, rape kits, and cries for help at school, but DCFS left her in abusive homes.
How many of you suffered abuse in foster homes?
Perhaps more twisted, these survivors say when they reported abuse, they were ignored, and the disturbing proof may be found here. Inside this DCFS database, after a long battle, the CBS 2 investigators obtained 5 years of abuse records. Every child has an 8-digit ID number. Line by line, row after row, cries for help. And our meticulous analysis uncovers a deeply troubling pattern. When a DCFS child is allegedly abused 9 out of 10 times, it is unfounded.
The department has a history of not believing the kids.
James McIntyre says his allegations also were not believed. He still suffers from the trauma.
I was sexually abused. I was neglected. I was starved.
He now helps DCFS survivors and heads the Foster Care Alumni Association of Illinois, which includes these 14.
Foster kids make the best victims.
The data the CBS 2 investigators obtained contains more than 6,000 abuse and neglect allegations made against 3,200 foster parents. And while nearly 90% of all allegations go unfounded, sexual offense allegations, including sex abuse risk, molestation, penetration, and exploitation, are also unfounded 88% of the time.
We respond to kids who've been abused.
Mark Smith has been director of DCFS since 2019.
I think that depending on the circumstance, we can all get better at the way we respond to the needs of all of our children and families.
The most common form of abuse in the DCFS data involves physical harm and neglect allegations like bone fractures, head injuries, burns, and torture. In a staggering number of these incidents, 91% unfounded by DCFS investigators.
In this entire group, nobody's abuser was ever charged with a crime.
I can't speak to if any individual case was brought to the police or not, but I will say this. Depending on the circumstance, depending on the perpetrator, cases are brought to the police from the DCFS perspective.
We wanted to know how often DCFS alerts police of allegations against foster parents, but they couldn't give us the data. They don't track it.
Did any of your abusers get convicted?
No.
Mine went on to actually work with children.
Kaylin says one foster parent even tore up the only picture she had left of her dad, who died when she was just a child, as a form of retribution for speaking up.
My caseworker didn't really care.
Do you feel like there's hope?
There is, baby. Don't ever lose hope. That's all you got most of the time.
I definitely had to take care of my sister, do her hair, and then she brought in other foster children, which were girls. And then we had 2 big brothers, which were her children. And those are still our brothers to this day.
Did you have a good relationship with them?
Yes, we did.
Good.
We definitely had a good sibling, brother and sister relationship.
Until
my sister lied on the father in the home, and we had to get removed, and they could no longer adopt us.
Okay. But so So you come through a rough childhood. I mean, a rough childhood.
Yes.
Where did you find what did you find? You say you were in therapy. How did you get from that journey to where you are now? From therapy to where you are now?
Well, therapy happened when we were children. So
Right.
how I got through all of that, I literally just focused in on school. It's like I just had tunnel vision.
Just block out all the other stuff, right?
Yeah, like I didn't complain about where I was at, wherever I was. I just started to learn how to adapt to my environment, so that I wouldn't have to think about the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And I took everything good. Like I'm like, oh well, my little sister, she used to say like, oh, they're just using us because they get money for us and stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, I don't care at this point.
Right.
As long as I'm safe, I don't care. I just want to be safe. That's it.
Right.
I just want to be somewhere where I could just be loved and I could be safe. And so, at that point, I just tapped into school. And that's not to say that I didn't do any bad things. Like I was in from the stories that I get, I was not a bad child. I wasn't rebellious. I just was very, very emotional.
Right.
And I did not know how to deal with my emotions, and more so of the sadness and the grief of being wrong all the time. Like, I used to beat myself up a lot. And so as I continued to grow into my teen years, I started to do things to act out because I just didn't understand why the woman that took me on wanted to keep me. So I'm just like, and she fought for me in court. She went to bat for me, and that really touched my heart. Because I'm like, nobody ever fought for me like that. Nobody ever cared enough to say I love you and come. I want you to stay. I want you to stay with me.
Right.
And so at the time, I had a relationship with the Most High. I've always been a dreamer, so I was always in connection with Him spiritually. I just didn't know how to grasp that in my mind, because nobody around me except for my auntie went to church, and I started going to church with my aunt at 12. And so
at 12 you started going to church. You won't start going to church at 12.
Yes, so I started to go to church at 12. My grandmother used to be a Jehovah's Witness, and I knew I didn't want to do that. And so I just was like, yeah, I do believe in the Most High. She used to make us pray every night. She used to make, times that we did get to go over there, she made us pray. So we were introduced to the Most High early, but it was not consistent at all.
So through your grandma's church, Jehovah's Witness, you learned about God. Yes. And you learned about, his son.
Yes.
But you knew that wasn't for you.
Yes, I knew that early. Yes, that I was not going to be a Jehovah's Witness, and I told my grandma that.
But you knew you wanted a relationship with the Most High.
Yes, I knew it was a higher being at that time, but I just know I didn't want to do it her way.
I mean, coming through all the stuff you came through, it'd be easy just to say, forget it. No, I got to take care of myself, and if there is somebody, why he let me go through all the stuff I go through.
Oh, I got to that point.
Tell me about it then.
I got to that point after I left, and so fast forward to me being 18. My foster mom had kept me from 12 all the way to 18, and she was trying to prepare me for the world, and I honestly didn't want to listen. That's when I became rebellious, is when I figured out that now that I'm grown and I have to be on my own, I don't have to listen to nobody.
Oh yeah, 18, they just push you out, don't they?
Yes, and that's exactly what she did. And so
wow.
She's like, you're going to go to college and all this other stuff. But I'm just like, but what about, so it was like, you built this bond with me and then now you're just throwing me away. That was my thought process.
Right.
And so then when I got to that point, I was like, I started seeking for my real biological mother. I knew who she was. I saw her around. She was in and out of my life, my whole life. So I found her and I told her I wanted to come live with her, and that's where I went. That was the worst thing I could have ever done. That was the best thing I could have ever done in my life, because it pushed me into where I needed to be. It really did. Because she broke me some more. She broke me some more when I got there, and I thought that was love. I'm like, well, this is how she loves, so it's okay. She used me till she couldn't use me, and I ended up getting pregnant with my child. And I was in college at the time, and then I slowly started to realize, I was like, you know what, like, I didn't want to be pregnant. I'm not going to be a good mother. Why did you get me pregnant? And that is when my breaking point happened. I said, I'm done. I don't need you. And this is what I told the Most High.
So this your conversation with the Most High.
Yes, and I said some nasty stuff. I said some nasty stuff. I'm not repeating all of it.
Okay, that's okay.
That was disgusting.
That's
And
all right.
so, he made me eat my words. Oh, he made me eat my words. And when he did that, I remember just being in my room and looking at my Bible in my mother's house, and I just remember saying, okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I need you. And this older couple had moved into a church next door, literally like a month later. And they allowed me to come there. And I remember feeling such a refreshment. And at the time, I know that I wasn't serving the right Elohim, but I know he knew my heart. And so I knew that at that time I was pregnant and I was lost, and I really genuinely felt like I was at the end of my rope. I didn't want to do anything. And I was tired. And I was like, I'm too young to be tired. I was like, I need your help. You got to help me. And so he sent this loving couple. They bought me a Bible. They started to minister to me. They started to pour into me, literally pour into me. And I thought that was the most beautiful relationship that I had. And they took me out of town with them. They nurtured me in a way that I've never been nurtured.
Wow.
Both of them, not just the wife, the husband as well. And they took me in, and they really just started to minister to me. That they had a heart of Abba Yahuwah, even though despite everything else, they had good hearts. And I know that Abba used them to help me push me into where I am now today. She gave me a Bible, and I still have that Bible till today. Rebecca Richardson is her name. A beautiful woman, beautiful soul. Her and her husband. And she allowed me to they allowed me to be inside the church and let me help. They let me speak. It was just so beautiful. And then at the time I was still afraid to sing, so I was not confident to sing. Even though I know I could sing, I would not sing.
Well, let me ask you a question. Since you are in the Midwest, when that couple that cooked you all, were they melanated or?
Yes, they were.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome.
They were melanated. Yes, and I was in New Jersey.
Okay, you was in, man. So you went from Nebraska to New Jersey. So you had to live all over.
I went to Texas. I went from Omaha to Texas, from Texas back to Omaha, from Omaha to New Jersey. And that's where I found my biological mother, in New Jersey. And I left. My foster mom told me, do not do it. And I just did not want to listen to her. I'm like, no, I'm going to be with my real mom. Actually, and then that's the thing. I didn't even tell her when I left. I sold everything that I had and I left.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So this couple actually cared for you and showed you the love of Abba Yah.
Yeah, they did.
And that's how you started growing a relationship, right?
Yes. And then with the Most High?
Yes.
Yes. I've always been, I feel like I even unintentionally when I was younger, I had a relationship with him because I still used to pray. I was still singing. It just it wasn't for myself, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, and my relationship began to really develop with him on my own for myself when I really realized was at about 20, a year after my son was born.
So how did you come to know the truth about who you are?
So, a woman had moved next door. Her family had moved next door to me, and I was engaged. And yes, I was engaged. And so I was in church. I was heavy in church at this time. I was doing the bookkeeping. I was singing. I was I was helping with the children's ministry. So I wore a few hats in the church.
So you got deep involved in the church.
Yes, I did. And it was my aunt's. So it was my aunt's church, and then she took me in, and then they called me their granddaughter. So it was my grandparents, and they basically allowed I was just there, like, doing what I'm supposed to do as a granddaughter. Well, thought I was supposed to be doing. And
So finally, you got you got a feeling of being like a home almost now, huh?
Yes. And so then the fast forward, I'm gonna say about 27. I was 27 when I found out Yahuwah's real name. She moved next door to me with her family. And I remember being outside, and she had walked up to me, and I'm like, this woman, when she was telling me about it, I was like, this woman is crazy. And so I was like, okay. And so I was not trying to really listen, because I'm like, okay, yeah, that was weird. And so then from there on, after she told me the name, it really started to bother me, because and the only reason why it started bothering me is because prior to that, at 25, he warned me to come out of the church.
Whoa, wait. So you said at 25, Zariah warned you to come out of the church.
Yes.
And you didn't, at this time, you didn't know who his name was. You just had a dream or a vision. What?
I had a dream. I had a dream about the church that I was at, and it was a lot of wickedness happening in it. And I heard very loud and clear, come out of her. And I was outside in the daylight, and I was just like in the spirit realm, and I was like, come out of her.
So you was not asleep just when you had this.
I was asleep. Yes,
okay.
I was resting. But
you was in the daylight in your dream. Okay.
Yes, in the spirit realm. Yeah, I was definitely outside when I was seeing, but the wickedness was happening all around the church. It was all the wickedness, like the women sleeping with different husbands and all kinds of sorts of stuff. I mean, it was just diabolical. It was crazy. It was a lot happening within the church, but it was outside the church, but I could see it coming out of the church.
So after this dream, did anything happen that say, hey, that was good? That actually was right. What happened?
Yeah, a lot happened. We moved churches. The church burned down.
Wow.
Yes, a lot happened after that, and I kept going back. And I was like,
so wait a minute. You had a dream to leave. You went back?
Oh, I went back. And after I went back, I was 26. So it continued on for a year. That was the first warning. The second warning, it was literally, because I had never heard the saying, come out of her. I've never heard that. And that, it really bothered me. And so after she told me the real name, that was at the end of 2018. And she told me the name and all that good stuff. By the time the beginning of 2019 came, I got into a bad car accident. And on my way to the church, he told me again, turn around, don't go. And I did not listen. A police officer was speeding on the street. I seen the police officer. I'm like, oh, stop, please stop. And I'm turning. He hits me. I spin around in a circle. Car is completely totaled. I should have been dead.
Wow. So you got hit by a police officer?
I sure did. And when I came to, because I kind of blacked out. And when I came to, he told me, he woke me, and it was clear as day. I would not get any recompense. I would not be seeing anything. And I literally just started crying, because I said I should have listened. Because I knew for a fact it was him protecting me.
Wow.
So I messed up my right leg. My right leg got injured. And they were talking about, the cartilage in my leg, so I didn't have to get no surgery or nothing, but this is how Abba worked. Oh my goodness, I love him so much. my leg was completely swollen. I couldn't walk on it. They had to put a brace on it. They thought they were going to have to do surgery on my leg. And so when I was going through this, at the time, I was also going through a transition with my engagement. He told me to walk away from him. I told him no. I'm like, you taking everything from me? Like, you taking everything from me? And I was so confused. And at the time I was confused, but now that I'm looking back, he was putting things together. He was taking me away. He was taking things away from me so that I can grow in him and him alone, so I can focus only on him. And before the car accident, I was standing in church, and I remember crying on the front. I was singing. I had to sing my auntie's. I had not my auntie's part, but I had a solo to do. And my auntie was standing right next to me, and I just remember I couldn't even open my mouth. I just kept crying, and I could not figure out why I was just crying like that. It was just a sorrow. I could not figure. I'm like, this is not him, and I knew that in my spirit at that time. I'm like, this ain't right, and I just broke down in front of the whole church, like I'm just crying.
So it wasn't a cry. It wasn't a cry of joy. It was like mourning.
Yes, it was, and I couldn't take it. And so then after that, I was just like, and I was going back and forth with myself, and I thought the enemy had planted that seed in me to leave the church. But after I got into that accident, that was clear understanding that it was not from the enemy.
Right.
And so
after the accident, you also separated your relationship from your fiance.
Oh, he took everybody, even my nana and my papa. I couldn't be connected.
Wow.
It is like he just severed it completely. Like, I talk to none of them to this day. After he did that, after I got into the bad accident, and I was holding on so tight to my fiance because I'm like, this is all I got left. And when he told me when I finally let go, everything in my life it's like everything just started getting ugly. Everything fell apart.
Wow.
And I'm watching, and all he kept telling me is that, like, obedience is better than sacrifice. I need you to focus, daughter. I need you to focus. And I thought that I was going to lose it. So I sent my son away to my uncle, because I knew that mentally I was not capable of caring for him at that time, because I was really trying to see what he was doing. I was so conflicted because I thought it was myself. I thought I did this to myself. And so then he told me to pick up my Bible, and that was it. I literally, I severed the ties that he took away from me. That was it. And it was nothing but me and him.
So you took the Bible and just started reading.
I just picked up the Bible and I just started reading. I started reading, and he led me to online, and I started doing Google searches about Yahuwah and who he was, where he came from, and it was the real name. And when I tell you that, when I began to search and seek for him, the enemy was after me so cold. I mean, woof, it was bad. I had a situation to where it was some things that was revealed with my fiance, my ex-fiance. Things started to show forth as far as like the cheating and the he wasn't able to be monogamous. He told me I can't, like, it was actually a barricade, and it hurt at the same time.
So you found out all this stuff after you stepped away that he was doing wrong anyway, huh?
Yes, Abba started revealing everybody that was in my life. It was something. I mean,
you saw the truth. You saw the truth what happened to him.
Oh my goodness! When I tell you that everything was revealed with every person in my life and how they truly felt about me, and everything revealed, everything got exposed.
Wow.
And I thought it was on the breaking point. So I'm always gonna be transparent, open, and honest. And so I was like, I need to check myself into a mental ward, because I don't think I can mentally take this. This is a lot to take in. Like, and this is another thing that Abba did for me. Oh my goodness, I love him so much. He literally,
I love that.
He took me, and I went to a mental hospital, and I tried to check myself in. That lady looked at me and said, And it was a melanated woman. She looked at me and said, "No, ma'am, I'm not checking you in." I said, "But I'm suicidal." She said, "No, you're not." I mean, looked me dead in my face and told me, "No, you're not." And I said, "Okay, so what do you call this?" She said, "I call this I call this PTSD. You've been through so much trauma. You've been through so much that you are tired and you feel like you can't go no more." She said, "But I want to tell you this. Do what you've been doing." This lady don't know me from campaign. I ain't tell her nothing about the Most High. I ain't tell her nothing about nothing. I just told her I was suicidal. They usually supposed to check you in when you do that.
Exactly. When you say you're gonna harm yourself, they use because I worked in mental health, so I know what it is. So
she turned me away. She said, "No, ma'am. No, you're not." And I said, "Okay." She said, "I'm gonna send you home and I'm gonna give you this therapist." And she did just that. And she sent me home and I just got on my knees and I just started crying. I think that was the first time that I really just surrendered to him. And I told him that, all this stuff going on, I really am tired. And I'm
and
too
this is
young.
around, you said it was 2019?
Yeah, all this, my grandma, yes. So this happened this happened in 2020. So like after this happened, all this stuff got exposed was 2019. My grandmother died. In 2019, it was stuff happening with my family. And then the Most High told me, even with my grandmother dying, that the specific chains in my family bloodline was broken. He told me that in the spirit realm, like, and I remember the specific dream. It was it was so surreal. The lights the northern lights,
Right.
I seen those in the spirit realm, and I was sitting on, it looked like Joseph's coat, but it was so big and beautiful. And I was sitting there, and this lion, this is how he told me who I was. And this lion, oh, mighty, very mighty, came up and laid right next to me. And I looked at it, because I was, at first, I wasn't fearful, but I got very nervous, like, this lion just came up next to me. And then this piece just covered me. And then I took my hand and I started to stroke its mane. And I heard Abba tell me, "I'm here." And then the lion got up and left. And that's when the first time I heard about the tribe of Judah. I started watching Open Diary. Have you heard of her?
No, I haven't.
It's Open Diary and Truth Unedited.
Okay, I heard of that one.
And that's when I found out about the tribes. Started to find out about the tribes. And that's when I realized, oh, he told me who I was. So
wow.
And that happened in 2020. After I surrendered though. After I surrendered.
Now when you surrendered, it was just you alone with he's on your floor praying, just said, "I had enough," and that's it, huh?
Yep. And I think I sat in that house for some weeks. In my house, I didn't go to work. I actually left my job.
Wow.
And I sat in my house for about good 3 weeks. I can't even lie to you.
Just praying and seeking him.
Praying and seeking him for 3 weeks straight. I didn't answer my phone. I literally sat with him.
So as you called out to Abiyah, the moment he answered and said, "This is who you are," tell me about that moment.
Oh, it was over then. I took off. I didn't look back. And then I was trying to wake people up.
So no individual came to you and said, "Hey, this is the scriptures that show you who you are," or you it was you and Yah, and he revealed it to you through a dream.
It was me and him, and he revealed that to me through a dream. And the lady next door, then I started to really go over there. And so at the end of 2019, I started to like kind of go over there and talk to her and stuff like that, but it wasn't like consistent. It was just more so about what I was going through, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I understand.
So
I understand.
it was about me being broken from my relationship. It was about my sister. It was about everything that was happening, you know what I mean, in my life. That's what really I was talking to her about. And I think a couple of times we never went over the tribes, but we did go over like different scriptures, you know. But it wasn't like consistent, or we were talking about it all the time. It wasn't like that. But I know for a fact that Abba Yahuwah revealed to me that I was from the tribe of Judah. That's how he revealed it to me through a dream.
So that's funny. I've heard a lot of people tell the testimony, and they get to the point where they just know something's wrong, or they're in church and they say, I want to get close to God, but this is not working out here. And but you said that through a dream that he revealed who you were, and then through reading the word. And did you find more about it through reading the word, or I mean, how did it progress?
Oh yes. So then the book of Deuteronomy, and that's where the woman, she told me, her name is Q, and she told me that's where I could find it at. So she did tell me that. She told me that the tribes, she's like, it's all in the book of Deuteronomy. And that's when I was like, oh, I'm about to go read it. And that's what I did. I just started reading. I started reading the book of Deuteronomy, and nobody had ever told me that. And so then I stopped thinking she was weird, of course. I was like, okay, she's not weird. And so then after that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, okay. So then, but I did my own research and my own stuff. I did a lot of that on my own. Like, I really started to see. She showed me Truth Unedited. She did show me Truth Unedited, but I didn't start watching it like right away. I can't say that I did. And she showed me Open Diary too. Okay. So yeah.
So now you know who you are, and you're starting to grow. So how about your relationship with your son and everything?
Oh, that transformed so beautifully. Oh my goodness. I just love how Abba Yahuwah works. Oh my goodness. He's so, with my baby, like when I sent him away for that time, I knew that the spirits that I was dealing with, he wasn't strong enough to be around that stuff. I wasn't even strong enough. So I was still dealing with a lot of spirits. Like, I mean, just, whew. I mean, I got delivered from, obviously I wasn't married, so fornication. I got delivered from, I never was an alcoholic or drank or anything, smoked, never indulged in those things. But I was spending, I was definitely into money. I was materialistic. So money was my God. Let's be real here. Yeah. So I was a workaholic, always working. I had to have the latest J's. My son had to have the latest Jordans, Nike, all that. I was into all of that. You couldn't pay me not to have nothing name brand on. That's how I wrote. That's how I used to roll. And so I got delivered from all those spirits. And I remember taking, some anointing oil, and I just started Baruch in my home. And when I tell you that when I started doing that, my front door is heavy. It is a wood door. The door got pushed back and my screen door flew open.
When you prayed,
when I started praying
to bless your home, yes, your front door flew open.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I watched it with my own two eyes.
Wow.
And I had all the windows open. The Most High led me to do this. Because I remember when I was pregnant, my mother.
Praises to the Most High.
When I was pregnant, I did it at the house that my mother was in, because my mom had some very strong demonic spirits on her. And at the time, I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know that was a part of my calling. And no, it didn't happen there. But I've always been. I got the gift of. I used to see spirits.
The gift is discernment.
Yes, and my baby sister, actually, I believe, I don't know if she could still see them, but she could actually see them. Like I used to feel them very heavy, and I still do. But she used to see them. And so we both, like, she'd say something, and I used to pray when we was little. So that's why I said I feel like I always had a relationship with him, but it wasn't as strong as it is now.
No.
So yes.
Wow.
And so my mother is a full-blown witch.
Wow.
Full-blown witch. Oh, she is them.
Has she always been, and you didn't know about it? But you know about it now, been revealed now.
I cannot honestly answer that, but I do know from the time that which was like 26. No, about 26 is when I found out she was doing that stuff. Me and my sister found out, and I'm like, and she did try. So, I got delivered from the spiritual witchcraft because she tried to get us in it, and I was the tarot reading cards and all that stuff, and something in my spirit is like, no, don't you do it. And I'm just like, ooh. And this is before I came into the complete knowledge about Abba Yahuwah's full name and who he was.
Right.
And then I was just like, I don't know about this. And I'm like, Mom, I don't think we're supposed to be doing this. She said, everything that they taught y'all was wrong. We are okay to do this stuff. And I almost believed her. When she came back home to Nebraska. And then some just told me no. And so I had to disconnect, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. And so she used to try to get me over there, and I'm like, no, Mom, like, I can't, I don't want no parts of that. Like, I had to be honest with her, and she's like, you keep saying that this is demon, you keep demonizing this. And I'm like, Mom, that is demonic. You're not talking to real spirits. And so then I kind of let go. And then still sometimes, now before I got into the car accident, I was still like watching like tarot card readings online. And I remember the Most High told me, he said, don't you open that thing again. And I had to delete everything that said Capricorn. I deleted everything that said anything that
Yes.
I deleted everything.
You renounced all that, huh?
Oh, I renounced every bit of it, baby, because he got in my behind, and he got in it heavy. I seen this dream. I ain't never encountered those types of demonic thing. Oh my goodness. When I can't even, it was bad. It was bad. And I just said, nope. This is it. I'm not doing this no more. Nope, I'm done. And so
Zariah, since your story is since you was a young and going through all that turmoil, all the abuse, he was there. And when you finally got older and found a place that there was a family that showed you love, he led you through that to show what love is. And then he said, well, this is not right. You need to get away from this because there's some stuff going on that's not good for you. Separate you from all that and led you into the awakening.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
And
Crazy.
he kept me. He really did. He covered me.
Did witchcraft in your family you didn't know about that, and he kept you from that too.
And he told me that I was not what I loved about what he did for me, and said he's told me that that I was an orphan. Wow. And he took me under his wing.
Mm.
And excuse me, I'm trying not to cry.
That's okay. I'm trying not to myself because he is so good. He is so good.
And I told him I wasn't good enough to serve him. And he told me that I was good enough.
Yes.
And he told me once he delivered me, I could not go back. So I never looked back.
Hallelujah.
So I've been delivered from all those demonic forces. Not to say that, the enemy don't try to tempt me or try to, send old people back. He did all that. But now I've reached a point, I can honestly say these last from the time, because I'm 34, these last 3 years, I am stronger spiritually than I have ever been.
Wow.
And I'm able to do a lot more, like especially when it comes to being around certain people and, people saying certain things. I'm like, okay, well, I don't operate like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave. Right. And so I'm strong enough to do that now and not feel bad for it and not say, oh, because are they gonna be mad at me? I don't care. I don't, because I'm
Because
serving my Father in spirit and in truth,
exactly,
and that's
and you're
exactly
set
how
apart. And you're set apart.
I am set apart. And I need you to see that this is the life that I've chosen. This He chose me before I chose me, and
Hallelujah.
I love that for me, because
Hallelujah.
I didn't see myself or even deem myself worthy enough, but He did. He is my first love, and I'm gonna stick with my first love, because can't nobody on this earth, no physical man, love me the way He loves me. And so that's where
Yeah.
I'm after Him. I'm
Now
after
I'm gonna
Him.
ask you a question. Ask you a question because you said something that when you came to know Him, and he delivered you from all those things, but the heartache, the abuse, most people in our, especially in our community, and we could hold that inside and have anger issue or unforgiveness.
Oh,
He wiped all that out.
He cleaned it all up. And I'll even be transparent. Just last year, He exposed because he was growing me. He said, "Daughter, I'm trying to grow you, but you got one more thing. I need you to check your heart." And I said, "Okay." I said, "What you mean?" So He showed me in a dream that I had unforgiveness, and I said, "Where?" I said, "Expose it, Abba, expose it." The very thing that He exposed to me was the very thing that I knew. I said, "Ooh, I buried that deep, deep, deep," to the point to where I forgot. But I
Yeah,
told Him,
that's what usually happens.
I said, search my heart, clean it out, because I don't want nothing that's going to keep me from you. And He showed me that, and I got to see the young lady. I looked at her and immediately got angry. I said, "No, man, I can't do this. I'm not doing this." I got back in my car, and I almost pulled off. Oh, I looked back again. I said, "Oh, yeah, I ain't doing this." I got in my car and I pulled off. Sure did. Then He said, I got home, immediate conviction. He said, "I'm going to give you one more chance." I said,
Wow.
"Okay." The next day, I seen that young lady again. Same spot. Same
She
spot.
gave you another chance.
I said, "All right." I said, "Abba Yahuwah, strengthen me. Give me the strength, and you lead my thoughts and you lead my words. This is not of me. I know this is you." I got to this woman and I expressed to her my concern, and she had no clue.
Yeah.
Had no clue. No, and it was genuine. I can tell when someone's being genuine and when somebody's
Right.
just like trying to pull my leg. That encounter was genuine. She had no clue. She didn't understand.
So she didn't know what she done to hurt you.
No, she didn't.
But when you let it go.
She said, "I was wondering why you wouldn't speak to me, why you stopped calling me, why you didn't." She said, I was so confused. She said, "We always had a good relationship." And I said, "We did." And she said, "And this is what," she said, "Baby, I'm sorry." She apologized to me.
Wow.
And it was a lot of it, and I was able to see, like, oh my goodness. And Abba showed me in that very moment. Most times, and sometimes people really do know what they did, but most times we be having it in our own mind. We create these barriers and this stuff in our own minds to the point to where we can't move forward or grow with Him, because we have all this resentment or this stuff. And these people don't even be knowing. They either don't know, or they probably done forgot about it.
And that's the thing about unforgiveness. We hold those people who hurt us in prison in our hearts, in our mind, and we're thinking we're punishing them. What we're doing, we're putting ourselves in prison. Because they go along with their lives. They don't. They, like I said, she didn't know what anything going on. But ourselves, we have all this going on in our hearts. And once we open that up and say, "All right, I'm letting it go."
Yes.
Then we can see. Then we can see deliverance and freedom.
Oh, when I tell you that, it was like a weight lifted off of me.
Yes.
That was it. I said, "Oh, thank you, Abba." And I just started to praise Him that evening. I praised Him all night until I felt I was into a rest. And I remember waking up so refreshed and renewed, and I just was singing all day, just singing, praising Him and thanking Him, just thanking Him and praising Him. People looking at me in the store, and I don't even care. I'm praising my Father, and you can feel how you want to feel. I'm gonna sing this praise. I'm gonna praise Him, because that was a barakah for me. That was another block that I had. And I had the dream I had was it was a big stony block in the middle of the road, and I couldn't go. It was a straight road, narrow road, but I couldn't go. And I'm like, dang, like it was a big, and I'm like, what is this block? Like I gotta get around it. And I tried to go around and I couldn't get around it. And I'm like, what is this? But he showed me exactly what he showed me. That was what he showed me. You can't progress if you got all this stuff in your way. He can't
So
elevate
you're
you.
holding on to all the unforgiveness that was blocking everything.
Yeah, it was. And so I just
Yes.
I let it go. I released it. And that was it. And then like maybe a month later I had another dream and I was able to get through the road.
Wow. So y'all, Zariah, is amazing how y'all guided you and kept you. And I love that. I had when you was describing the dream about the lion sitting beside you, and it's like, I'm here.
Yes.
And it's wow. It was like, ooh, like I have like the president of the Ruach of the whole of y'all just sat down beside you and said, I'm here. I'm that lion for you. And
Literally.
you're part of my family, and you are worthy.
That's
you
exactly.
are worthy.
It was a piece that piece is stuck with me to this day. I still got that piece.
Yes. Well, Zariah, thank you for coming on. I want to just thank you and bless you, and I speak peace on you. And thank you guys for listening to this. If you have any question, please put them down in the comments. If this blessed you, please let us know in the comments. Please share this so other people can hear this story. And we just pray that somebody come out of the darkness into his marvelous light. In the name of the Most High, Yahweh, I thank you. I thank you. And we'll see you next time.
See you next
Shalom.
time. Shalom.
What do you think about this topic? Remember to be a Berean scholar, as it is written in the book of Acts 17 verses 11 to 12. Now the Bereans were more noble-minded than the Thessalonians, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if these teachings were true. It's time to deepen your understanding and see your reflection within the sacred pages. Please click subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay up to date with the Berean Scholar channel.